blazing bullets. Today we're going to take on and clean the Ruger SR22, and we're going to go show you how to break it down first, and then I'll show you the cleaning of it. I'm going to do it as quickly as possible. I have a little tactical light on mine because I usually take this out at nighttime, as I've said. It's a little AIM I believe it's 150 lumens. Yeah, it's 150 lumen tactical light. It's got a little LED in there. It's pretty damn bright. Battery in that thing. The only thing I have complained about is the battery. The only thing I have to complain about is the battery doesn't last very long on this thing. It's a very tiny battery. I think it's a CR123. And my other tactical lights, which I'm going to do a video on here real soon. Here I'm going to show everybody the different tactical lights that I have that I use, and how bright each one of them are. And I have several of them. But today we're going to do the Ruger SR22 and the breaking down of it. This is a threaded barrel. This is the one I use with my silencer coast barrel, and it's basically a pretty easy weapon to break down. First of all, you want to make sure you have an empty weapon. As always, I do it several times. There's no magazine in the weapon. And basically what you want to do is pull the slide back, lock it back into place. And underneath it here, you'll find that there's a little lever here. You actually pull the lever down like that. You'll see it hangs. Push it all the way down to the rear position. You can see it right next to the trigger there. Release the slide and it should come right off. Make a liar out of me, huh? Oh, I know why. Gotta take the threaded part off of the barrel here. I'll have to get a wrench on that. Alright, silencer code gives you a nice little wrench. And this is actually the threaded part that was actually on the barrel before I put the adapter on here. So this actually was part of Ruger's sending to you, and that was to protect the threads on the barrel in case you didn't have a thread here like that, like I have on there right now. So actually the barrel itself, the threaded part on there, is protecting the threads on that. Alright, now you can see that I've actually taken off the threaded adapter that goes onto the can, and I actually screwed on the Ruger thread protector, just because you don't want to booger up your threads and get them screwed up, because then you have to buy yourself a whole new barrel. So I put that on there just because, just to clean it, and it's only finger tight on there. That's just to protect the threads while I'm cleaning it. Once you do that, you before, like you should have had it before, but couldn't do it because of that being on there. You just disconnect the thread part. Alright, I don't edit none of my videos, so if you see me mess up, that's because I'm trying to do this while looking through a little camera. And alright, so what actually, you have to get it off here. It just pretty much comes apart there, and I've got a gazillion rounds through this thing, so that's probably filthy. And especially when you're running a suppressor, it has a lot of blowback, so I'm sure this thing is really filthy. Anyways, that's how the slide comes off, and let's get to cleaning it. Alright, so as I said before, I don't take a lot of cleaning stuff to the gun. It's just enough to lube it up, make sure it's good. There's my ballistol spray, and I'll just take it, basically shoot it down the barrel. It wasn't coming out there for a while. getting towards the end of the can. And just basically let that sit a little bit. Spray up the barrel here a little bit here. I believe I have frog lube on here, so it's probably going to be needing to apply a little degreaser on there as well, just to get that frog lube off here, because we're going to do this a little different with the fire clean this time and see how the fire clean does. Alright, so just take your degreaser, and I'm using the Sub 2000 degreaser, and just, you know, spray up around there. Pay in mind, don't try to get it towards the back too much, but just basically hit the barrel part and where you got the frog lube at. Mainly the frog lube's on the rails and stuff. I like to keep the rails pretty lubed up. Try to keep that down a little bit on the and obviously up on the slide as well. And I try not to squirt up in here too much, because I want to just watch what I'm doing there. So I usually spray a piece of paper towel with a little bit of degreaser, clean up in here. I don't want to get it overspray in there too far, you know, get it around the firing pin or anything like that. But just basically just try to clean off the rails and stuff like that where the sliding parts are. Alright, now this one does, like I said, this gun here I use mainly with my suppressor only. I actually have one without a thread barrel, so I have two SR22s. One with a threaded barrel, one without a threaded barrel. And this one's my threaded barrel one, and this one gets the suppressor on it all the time. Now, you can't clean around the firing pin, especially with a suppressor. There's a lot of blowback. So I take a dry toothbrush, nothing on this toothbrush, you can just see some dirt on it, but all it does is clean dirty parts, and it's dry. You don't want to put nothing on that firing pin. And if you want to get the carbon out of there, you just kind of scrub there a little bit, just to get the carbon out of there. And you can scrub around there, as long as it's dry and you're just getting out the dirt. And like I said, there's a lot of, when you have a suppressor on there, there's a lot of blowback, so it is getting kind of dirty up in here. You can even take a dry piece of paper towel, and if you really want to get crazy and clean up in there a little bit, but you know, don't put any lubrication up in there. Don't put anything that's going to foul up your gun. The only places you have to lubricate is on the moving parts like the rail, and that's about it. That and the barrel, that's pretty much the only thing I lube. Alright, well, this is the recoil spring, and I guess you can clean this up too. There's no big deal on this either. You can put a little degreaser on there. I can feel the frog lube still on there. And I don't know if this is totally captured. I guess that's captured. And just wipe off any excess oil or frog lube in this case. Wipe that off. Alright, that's nice and clean. Clean enough for government work. And we're going to use the fire clean this time. We're going to see how that works. I've already put it on my suppressor. Now we're going to clean the gun and put it on the gun and see how, after maybe 1,000 rounds to it, see how it all comes out and make sure that it's going to, they say you just wipe it clean after that. You don't have to put nothing on it, just wipe it clean. So we'll see. Nothing gets dirtier than this gun, so we'll see. If it fixes this gun, I'll be praising it to death. I'll be bowing down to the little bottle here. Alright, this is the frame part. Now, just like before, which is the other thing here, you can just take it and clean off around where the hammer's at, down in the mag well. Clean all the little parts out right there with your little handy dandy toothbrush there. This is my expensive 50 cents brush. I don't, you go to Walgreens, you can get these cheap, you get a whole box full of them, 10 of them at the dollar store or something like that for $1. So, no sense of spending. You're not going to use them for your teeth. You're just going to use them for your gun. So, no sense of getting a fancy toothbrush. But that's basically what you do. Just clean it out there a little bit. And I'll say I got to put some ballistol back on here. And we're going to run a bore snake through there as well. And let me get my bore snake up. Alright, I'll show this on another video. I have different bore snakes. This one obviously is for a 22 or 223 or 5.56. And I use it on my rifles as well. Over here we have one for a 40, 41 cal. You got a 45. You get your 38 special sizes, like 357, 380, 9mm. All those are pretty much the same size there. And this is the one I use for my 308. We actually have one for a shotgun. I believe that one's for my 16 gauge, and I have a 12 gauge one. You can get one for a 20 gauge. But these things pretty much last forever. So once you buy one, the initial $14, $15 that you pump out, you'll get a lot of use out of that. So I highly recommend someone getting a bore snake. Especially for this. This is really going to be kind of filthy here because, like I said, there's about 1,000 rounds going through it already, and 22 ammo is extremely dirty. Alright, any bore snake, you'll find out there's a weighted end on one side, and if you travel all the way down to the other end, it gets fat. This is where you start cleaning. You'll feel it right here. There's some brass brushes, and then it pulls all the way through to the very end and out of the gun. And I usually just run it one time. And you always go from the rear of the gun, which is back where the bullet comes into the gun from the magazine. Drop it through the barrel, pull it through the other side, pulling the this is kind of weird because I'm sitting here trying to do it this way with the camera in my lap, pulling it through, and you'll start getting resistance when you start getting to the bristle part and the actual fat part of the snake. And you pull it through there one time, and out. If you really want to get excited, you can do it again. Pretty much I only do it one time. And I'm going to spray some ballistol down through there again, and that's pretty much going to be one clean barrel, as clean as I make it. Alright, I said I was going to put some ballistol up in there, but I forgot we're going to use the fire clean this time here. And so instead of using the ballistol, we're going to use the fire clean. Now this thing leaks for some reason. I don't know why. We just got this darn thing. But I had to put the little stopper back in there because the little thing was just misbehaving. And we're going to take a little bit of the fire clean, and I'll try dropping it down through the barrel. Using my little Q-tip. These are my fancy wife Q-tips. My wife and daughter. I use them for putting on makeup, but I steal them from them. Shh, don't tell them that. But just stick a little bit in there, and we'll rub a little bit on the outside of the barrel. Alright, once you've put a little bit up into the barrel, you don't have to put a whole lot, just enough to keep it from corroding. I'll put a little bit on the outside of the barrel, and since this little threaded part will be coming off, I'm going to end up taking that off for a little while and put a little bit on there as well. can actually, out here, you can probably get a piece of paper towel as well and just stick it on there with a piece of paper towel and rub it on. Alright, I got a little bit on a piece of paper towel here. I'm just going to rub it over the barrel, just to keep any kind of corrosion down on the barrel. Basically all you're doing. I'm not sure, this looks like an aluminum barrel or stainless. I'm not sure what that's, stainless or aluminum. I'm not real good with metals, but basically that's all you do. Rub a little bit on the barrel. You don't have to be grinding in it, just enough to have a little film on it. If it's stainless or aluminum, it shouldn't rust, so keep it on there. And I'm going to take the thread part off here just temporarily, so I can stick a little bit on the threads here. Probably just a drop will do. Oh, I don't think that came out, did it? There we go. And I'm just going to wrap that around and put that back on to protect my threads. If you don't have a threaded barrel, you don't have to worry about that. You're going to put a little bit on the rails. You can see the rail here is wore a little bit, so it probably didn't have enough lubrication on there. Make sure you get those rails pretty good, because that's where all the slide action is. Okay, now you can put some up on the rail here, a little bit of lubrication, and I put just a little smearing on this center post here, just a little bit, because of the it's metal to metal there as well. But you want to get, you know, oil is great when it's oil, but once you start shooting bullets through the gun, all that corrosion and all that powder and residue starts to stick to the oil, and then it starts being like a big piece of sandpaper. So you don't want to have too much oil, but enough to have things moving properly. You can put a little bit on your spring. Just put a little dab of Dewar, spin it around on there, just to keep things from rusting on here as well. One little drop will do it. Smear it around. Now if you're using the ballistol, you just spray the ballistol on there a little bit. That's usually what I do. Alright, and that should be it. Reassembling is the same way as you took it apart, only in reverse. You take your recoil spring, which is really tiny in the 22. There's a little notch. I'm not sure if you can see it there, but there's actually a little notch underneath the barrel there. And make sure you put the flat end. The little pointy end there is going to poke through the slide. So put that little flat end in this way. Have it sitting there. Take your slide. Getting the spring and the barrel up in there at the same time. And of course, it wants to be difficult. Yep, need my hands again. Alright, tough when you only get my hands there, but you gotta wiggle it there a little bit sometimes. Force it to where the barrel gets over into that little spot there. There's a little drop-in spot where the fat end of the barrel there, when the breech is at there. There we go. And you have to pull the slide all the way back. Once you get it in the spot there, you have to push the slide all the way back, and it drops into that little groove here, like that, into the slide. It's hard to do it and show at the same time here. You gotta force it all the way back. I just did it like 5 times here. Come on. it goes. Push it down and pull it in. Now you got to bring the little lever up, kick it into place, and it should be functioning at that point. For me, yeah, well, for most people, this would be a finished weapon. But for me, I have to pull back, lock the slide, take off my little thread protector. Someplace I put the, oh, here it is. And put a little drop of the fire clean on there. I'll put some on the outside once I get it together. Screw that on. And right now, somewhere that I have my wrench. Losing everything here. Okay. And lock this down. I'll make sure that's tight. Don't have to break it, but just enough to snug. I'm going to put a little bit of lube on the thread here. And just spin that around with my finger. And we'll see how the fire clean works. Okay, that's ready to get my suppressor put on it. And you only hand tight the suppressor. Screw it on. And I'm back in business. Ready to go. Make sure I get any of my groundhogs or raccoons that come out at night and threaten my dogs. That's basically my varmint weapon. That way I don't wake up the neighbors too. I sit there and wonder what I'm doing out there at midnight shooting things. Alright, now we'll just take a piece of paper towel or something. I need to wipe off any excess off the gun. Clean up everything. Make sure there's no excess oil hanging anywhere. You don't have to rack the slide and have a big oily mess there. And like I said before, we're ready to go. Well, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and or like. And welcome, or thank you for coming to Blazing Bullets. Everybody, please be safe.